You've watched all the tutorials, but you're still overthrowing wide open tight ends like you're aiming for the mascot. Running backs, you miss them. Receivers, over their heads like you're trying to punt a football with your thumb. Let me be real with you. Everything you've been told about passing in college football 26 is dead wrong. I know, that just ruffled some feathers. Your favorite YouTubers are probably going to light me up in the comments, but guess what? I didn't make this video to win popularity points. I made it to help you stop throwing like a drunk in high heels blindfolded during a hurricane. I'll be honest, I even made a passing settings video last year, and yep, I was wrong too. Not because I didn't test it, but because, like many others, I told you what works best for me, not what works best for you. So here's the deal. After testing each throwing settings over 500 times, I've cracked the code. I'm about to unlock what each setting really does, the risks, reward, and when to use them. I'm not just giving you my favorite setup, I'm giving you the truth so you can choose what fits your game. By the end of this video, your passes will be sharper than a Ginsu knife on Black Friday. So stay tuned, don't blink, and whatever you do, don't keep throwing picks like it's a charity drive. Let's fix your passing right here, right now.
Only the most legendary people subscribe to Deadson Gaming. Do me a favor, boys. Show me how legendary you are. Caress the subscribe button now.
Welcome back, everyone. Now let's dive right in. The first thing you want to do is identify where your passing settings are. To do that and to control them universally, you want to go on your home screen and you want to go all the way over to where it says settings. You want to go to game settings and you want to scroll all the way down until you see what's called passing mechanics. And this is where you can actually make adjustments to how you play. Now, it'll be set on a different setting and maybe set on Revamped or whatever. But as you look at these, you kind of see exactly that you can actually just toggle them on or off. Now let's dive into the menu to the right. This kind of gives you the expectation of what they do, but it's not accurate, but I'm going to read these anyway, because it does have some clues into how they could be best used. So the first one is placement. Enables visual targets to control the pass placement and power. This leaves accuracy to be determined by player ratings. So you read that and you think, okay, player ratings will have a drastic effect in this type of passing. Then you see placement and accuracy enables a timing element for perfect accuracy on bullet passes on top of visual targets to control pass placement and power. So if you look at this, you might assume, hey, I can make better bullet passes. But also what this doesn't tell you is this does not depend on player ratings, but also it kind of does, right? Because your medium and short accuracy will determine these. But another thing that EA doesn't mention, and I found this in my testing, is that when you choose placement and accuracy, then throwing abilities get disabled sometimes. So if you have dot or you have all platform, you may not see these fire if you choose placement and accuracy because you're taking control of the pass. Classic passing, the classic passing controls that give more control on the arc of the passes. That is not entirely true. They should have explained that more, but because people don't see the explanation, then they may not use this correctly. Revamped passing, the classic passing controls that give more control over the arc of the pass with the ability to perfectly throw passes. Based on rating and pass context, the player can take some power off their throw to make more accurate passes. So this is a breakdown, but it doesn't really give you what you need to make the best decision. So this is where we're going to show you and break each one of these down so you know without a shadow of a doubt which one may be best for you. Now that you understand the passing types and you understand what the descriptions are that was placed inside the settings menu, we're going to now do something that has never been done in the history of skill-based passing. We're going to break down the risk reward of each settings. We're going to also show you the best case scenario for using them. And we're going to identify which type of player should be using them based on where they're at in their skill set. Again, this is going to be the definitive passing guide for skill-based passing because of the breakdown. And we're going to even go through mechanics as well and how the scientific way this game is coded allows you to either hurt your passing game or help your passing game. So let's jump right into it. So the first type of passing is classic passing. The risk level is low. The reward level is low to medium. You just press a button and the AI handles ball placement. That's the best way to describe it. The pros is super easy to use, minimal learning curve, and it feels like legacy NCAA passing. The cons, zero control over placement, leads to lots of batted passes, especially on slants and drags. You can't throw wide receivers open or hit windows late in progression, and it's easy to bait for user linebackers and DBs. The use case, it's fine for casual play or new players, but weak in competitive dynasty mode. The next one is placement and accuracy with reticle and meter. The risk level is high. The reward level is high with mastery. Key features, you got to use a reticle to aim the throw, then power it up like a meter in NBA 2K. Pros, it's the ultimate control once mastered. You can make throws nobody else can. You can drop dimes on deep posts, holes, and zones, and fades. The cons, it's hard to use under pressure. Reticle aiming takes too long with the collapsing pocket. Too many overthrows, especially if mistimed or under duress. It is not beginner friendly. The bottom line is it's a high skill ceiling, but frustrating for most. You will rage until you master it. Placement passing tips. Don't overlead. A common overthrow issue happens when you hold the stick too long or aim too far ahead, especially on post and seam routes. Keep leads moderate unless your quarterback has a high to short medium accuracy. So again, abilities may not fire on this because you're controlling everything. And the only type of rating that will affect it will be your short to medium accuracy. Your deep accuracy will as well too, but you got to keep that in mind when using this. The next one is placement passing only. Risk level is medium. Reward level is high. Use the left stick to guide where the ball should go within the wide receiver's catch radius. Pros, lets you hit back shoulder throws, low balls, and lead the wide receivers away from danger. You can make possession catches and sideline throws more reliable. Helps when your wide receiver is winning leverage inside or outside. Cons, accuracy is tightly tied to your quarterback's ratings. So make sure you have a decent quarterback. If you're going to use this, you don't want to have a low rated quarterback. Overthrows are a problem if deep accuracy ratings are low, especially if you try to lead too far or throw too early. Throws under pressure can become erratic and inconsistent. Placement passing tips. Again, don't overlead. A common overthrow issue happens when you hold the stick too long or aim too far ahead, especially on post and seam routes. Keep leads moderate unless your quarterback has a high short to medium accuracy. Last but not least, revamped passing. The risk level is medium. The reward level is very high. It combines the best of placement and skill base without needing stick gymnastic. It allows you to throw to space, lead wide receivers, and time throws like a real QB. The pros, you can lead receivers away from defenders, ideal for layered throws if you want to throw over that linebacker in the middle of the field or right under safeties. It works well with timing routes, corner routes, fades, and crossers. Gives you the freedom to throw guys open. Cons, still prone to overthrows, especially if your QB accuracy rating is low or if throwing on the run, you must anticipate your read early, especially against zone defenses. What it does, Revamped passing gives you surgical control without punishing you as harshly as skill-based placement and accuracy. It feels like NCAA football finally gave us the college version of Mahomes/throw-out throwing experience. So now that we've broken these down by risk and reward, let's go into practice mode and show you exactly how they're going to perform in game situations to when you don't have a person open. Now, in order to simulate a game situation where you would actually need skill to pass, we're using Georgia Tech, and we're going up against Georgia, and they're in a man-to-man defense with rotating safety help, which means that the receivers are going to be covered, but you're going to have to be able to throw the route. The route we're going to throw is this corner route right here, which is going to be a difficult throw based on the alignment of the man because it's going to have help that rotates over. So we're going to have to time this right. Now let's show you the receiver we're throwing to. The receiver that we're throwing to is the receiver that has a pretty decent ability on Georgia Tech. His name is Eric Rivers. He does have 2 route abilities, double dip and takeoff. So sometimes he may get open, sometimes he may not. So now let's begin our test, and we're going to do this with, again, the settings on classic passing. And if you look at this again, sorry about that, it is on Heisman, the highest skill level you can play on in NCAA. So we do have a little bit of passing skill just through years of playing this game. And let's see if we can literally make the throw on classic passing we want to make. So we're going to wait till he gets open, and he is, and we overthrow it, and he gets tackled. We cannot control the placement, so I'm going to try to wait a little longer for him to get separation and then throw it and see how we go. That's a little longer, and he drops it. So again, even though he beat his man a little bit, we were not able to throw him open. We're going to try the third time, and he got completely beat that time, and the safety came over. So we cannot throw away from the safety, and this is the most control we ever have. So we're going to try to do this early as he breaks, and that is the perfect throw as he breaks. But again, we can't complete it because we have no control over placement, and we have no control over the accuracy. So with classic passing, it would be very difficult to make these types of passes in a situation to where they got everything else locked up. So now let's change the options to one of the highest skill-based passings you can be on, and this is placement and accuracy. Now, placement and accuracy will require a high level of skill, but again, it can be very, very effective. This is what I've used in the past. And so now we're going to get the same situation, and we're going to try to make the perfect pass. Now, green is good, blue is good, but how often will you get those? We'll see. So now we're going to make the same pass. We got to keep these linemen off of us. That's Georgia for you, right? So let's make the same pass to shift our line. And as you see, again, when it was blue, but I can't get enough arc on the ball. So let me try again as he breaks. That's a better pass, and we caught it, but he still had to turn around and get it. So I back shouldered it. So now I'm going to try to get really good separation depending on how his route is. And that was a yellow throw. So as you see, sometimes you get the blues or the yellows or the green. So we're going to throw it again one more time, and we were able to complete a pass, and we do have full control over it. And now we're able to get it away from safety, which is good. So again, it does take skill to kind of time that. He did beat his man, and we were able to get it out in front of the safety. So we were able to control the placement and accuracy. Now, you can make passes, like I said, on this that you can't make anywhere else, but keep in mind that is a skill and a timing thing. It takes a minute to learn it. And again, you're not going to hit it all the time, and you will get some reds and some yellows. So again, that is this type of passing. So now we're going to change the option to just placement only. So placement will allow us literally to use the quarterback's actual ratings along with us being able to determine how to place the ball. So we're going to go to placement, and we're going to see how that goes. And with placement, you're going to see it's yellow all the time because we're not trying to control the accuracy. And that's going to be kind of predetermined by the quarterback. So you're going to see this go yellow. and we almost throw a pick. So with placement, we just need to put it out there a little bit further. And this is a good defensive back, by the way. So again, that's kind of hard to angle it because, again, it's pretty decent, but it's depending on the quarterback's ratings. Let's try again. And perfect that time. So again, we got it perfect that time. We just had to kind of time the route. So we're going to do that again. Wait till he breaks. And again, we kind of underthrow it because we can't determine the arc. So we're going to try one more time with this. And perfect, just like placement and accuracy, we're able to turn this into a touchdown before the rotating safety. So again, it will take timing of that route and the receiver and a lot of factors play in, but you do have control over where you place it. So I just had to place it a little deeper, plus the receiver beat his man. So now let's go through placement and let's go to revamped. So the last one is revamped passing. And so far we've made good passes with placement and accuracy and placement. So let's see how revamped does. Now revamped, as you see, very first play, we're able to get this over the head of the defender. So we can actually control the arc of the ball way better. So we're gonna do that again. And again, getting it over the head of the defender, which we can do very well because of the arc of the passing. We want to try this another time. As you see, completely over the head. Now he hit us, but we're able to kind of put this in a spot where we want to put it at. So we're going to do it again. And yeah, he is cooked. And we're away from the safety. So again, one last time on revamped. And the safety got there and rotated. But again, you see the difference. We're able to pretty much hit all of our passes. So now that we've shown you the kind of little lab test in a small sample size, let's go back and talk about what we just did. Now that you've seen the demonstration of each passing mechanic, we're going to now talk about the overthrow problem, and then we're going to give our final verdict of which passing settings are best for the type of player you may be. So let's talk about the overthrow problem and why it happens. Even with the best settings, overthrows are plaguing players in CFB 26, and here's why. Main causes is low throw accuracy, short, medium, and deep. Each throw range has its own rating. Throwing on the run or off platform, pressure in the pocket, even if it's just a hurry and not a sack, max leading with left stick and placement and revamp, and throwing before the wide receiver finishes their break. The fixes: let your routes fully develop before throwing. Avoid throwing while sprinting unless your quarterback has throw on the run traits. Use tap throws instead of bullet unless the window demands it. And you can use revamp or placement, but learn your QB's limit. Final verdict. Dynasty mode, especially competitive ones with user games, is your best bet. Revamp passing for maximum control and freedom, and placement passing if you want safer throws but still beat good users. So I'm actually recommending pretty much two of these for the most optimal passing for the average player. So let's give a breakdown of the passing style, the risk, the reward, and the skill needed, and who it's ideal for. This is the breakdown that you didn't know you needed. So let's get into it. So I got revamp passing at the top, and the reason why is because it doesn't have that big of a risk, but it also has a very big reward. As you see, my passes on revamp were all completed because I could control the arc of the ball, and I felt like I had more control, but I didn't have to be like very bone accurate. But also the skill needed for this is moderate. So again, it doesn't take a professional digital football player to master this. You could master this pretty easily if you just practice with it a little bit. And this is also ideal for comp players. If you're playing in cut or tournaments, perfect for that. And dynasty, competitive, great for that. Or sim players. Either way, it's good for both. Now, placement passing is the second one. Why? Because it does have a medium risk, but it doesn't have as big a reward, but it has the reward that's literally greater than the risk. So that would be the second recommendation I have for the most optimal passing. Again, the skill needed is low to medium. So again, you don't have to have much skill to do this. And it's good for sim style. So the good thing about this is that with placement, you can still have some control and you can still leave receivers open. But again, it just depends on the style that you play. Classic passing, the risk is extremely low, but the reward is extremely low. And you don't need any skill to do this. You just press a button, you don't have to aim. And it's ideal for beginners only. So if you're not the great passer or you're just a runner and you just want to throw play action and throw on the run, if you do a lot of throw on the run and a lot of moving and play action, this is probably good for you, right? So you could probably use this because you have no desire to become an elite passer. You're basically a runner and you just pass very minimal. Like you might pass 5 times a game or 10 times a game. Then classic passing might be okay for you and you won't incur any risk, but you won't incur the reward of trying to throw a receiver open. So if you don't intend on doing that, then classic is perfect for you. Last but not least, skill-based passing. It has the highest risk out of all of them. You will get frustrated trying to learn this, but it also has a good reward. It is tied for the reward with Revamped passing, but again, it's just very, very risky. And the skill needed is extremely high because not only will you have to place the ball, you will have to move the reticle and you will have to be able to time the throw. That's a lot. Placing, moving the reticle, timing the throw, and you got to do all of that while you're under pressure. But you will be able to make throws that are just unbelievable if you use this, and it's ideal for elite users. So now that we've broken down each of the passing settings, again, we are going to recommend the 2 most optimal passing settings, but again, you want to use where you fit in. So folks, hopefully this helped you to determine which passing settings is perfect for your game. And if this video helped you at all, please make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll continue to make more videos to help the community become better at the game. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video if any of this information helped you out.